Welcome everyone. So today's video is about the remaining sections of the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961. So we'll start from section 6 now, and I have highlighted the PDF, so we'll read from the Bare Act itself. So you can mark the highlighted portions from this PDF. Section 6 talks about a chance given to person to return back the dowry amount to the women from whom that dowry was taken or from whose side that dowry was taken. If that dowry was taken before the marriage, then within 3 months after the date of marriage. If that dowry was received at the time or after the marriage, then within 3 months from the date of receipt. So the date of receipt is the date on which that dowry was taken after the marriage or at the time of marriage. For example, if date of marriage was 4th of August 2021, so from that day it will be the date of receipt. And if the dowry was taken, for example, 10 days after the marriage, so 14th of August 2021, from that day it will be 3 months of time will be given to that person to return that dowry amount. Now, subsection C. If the dowry was received and the woman was a minor, then within 3 months after she has attained the age of 18 years. All these three situations are pretty simple. So we'll now straight away go to clause 3 because clause 2 is related to both clause 1 and 3. So before reading clause 2, we'll read clause 3. If this woman in subsection 1 dies before receiving the amount she was entitled to, then her heirs are um, the one who can take this property from that person. So her heirs are entitled to claim this property, and if this woman has children, then that will be held in the trust of children. If this woman has no children, then that will be transferred to her parents. And also you need to keep in mind that if this woman has died within 7 years of her marriage due to natural causes, then her children are entitled to claim this amount, or her parents are entitled to claim this amount. Now coming back to clause 2 says that if that person has not returned the amount to that woman or her heirs in clause 1 or clause 3, then that person shall be punishable with an imprisonment which shall not be less than 6 months and which may extend to 2 years, or with a fine which shall not be less than 5,000 but may extend to 10,000, or both. Both means imprisonment and fine. So now coming to clause 3A, where that person who was convicted under clause 2 for the failure of transfer of the property or subsection 1, that is clause 1, then that person can be asked by the court to transfer that property to that woman or her heirs as the case may be. And if that person was given the specific time under which he has to return that amount to that woman or her heirs, again fails to comply with the direction of the court within the specified period, then that value of property shall be recovered from him and the fine imposed by such court shall be paid back to that woman or her heirs as the case may be. So this is pretty simple. If that person is not complying before his conviction under that subsection 2 and subsection 1, then he can be asked to return that amount to the court itself, and the court will transfer that amount to women or her heirs. Now we will talk about section 7, who has the jurisdiction of this matter. So section 7 is all about jurisdiction, and the jurisdiction shall lie with the metropolitan magistrate or the judicial magistrate of first class, and he shall have the cognizance, he shall take the cognizance of the matter if that matter has come to him as his own knowledge or a police report, or the complaint was given by the person who has been a victim of this offense, or the person who is aggrieved of this offense, or the parent of that aggrieved person, or the recognized welfare institution or organization. Now, what is this recognized welfare institution or organization? The definition of that is given in the explanation itself. A social welfare institution or organization recognized in this behalf by the central or state government. So there are some recognized institutions. If that complaint is made by them, then also this metropolitan magistrate or judicial magistrate of first class can take the cognizance of matter. Section 8, offenses to be cognizable for certain purposes and to be bailable and non-compoundable. So before reading this section, we must read some certain terms which are important. So in case of cognizable offense, police can arrest without warrant. And in case of non-compoundable offenses, the charges cannot be taken back. So non-compoundable means that which cannot be compromised. So coming back to section 8, the CRPC, that is the Code of Criminal Procedure, shall apply to offences under this Act if they are cognizable offences for the purpose of investigation of such offences, or and for the purposes of matters other than matters referred in section 42 of the code, and the arrest of person without warrant or without an order of magistrate. Now, clause 2 is very important. Every offense under this act shall be non-bailable and non-compoundable. So whenever this question is asked that offenses under the Dowry Prohibition Act are non-compoundable and non-bailable, whether it is true or false, then this is the answer. Section 8, clause 2. Now coming to section 8A, burden of proof in certain cases. So those certain cases are here given. So where any person is prosecuted for taking or abetting the taking of dowry under section 3, or the demanding of dowry under section 4, the burden of proving that he has not committed an offense under those sections shall be on him. So in case of section 3 and section 4, if that person is prosecuted for taking, abetting, or taking of any dowry, then he shall prove that he has not committed the offense under those sections. Rest of the sections, the burden is on the prosecution and not the person on whom that charges are made. Now coming to section 8B, dowry prohibition officers. The power of appointment of dowry prohibition officers is on the state government. So this is clause 1, pretty simple to understand. Now clause 2. Clause 2 says that every dowry prohibition officer shall exercise and perform the duties. So these certain duties are given from clause A to D, and these duties are to see the provisions of this act are complied with, to prevent as far as possible taking or abetting or taking of dowry. So they need to prevent the dowry situation as a whole, and to collect such evidence as necessary for prosecutions of persons committing the offense. So they are also empowered to take the evidence from the site where that offense of dowry has been committed. Also, they had to perform certain additional functions assigned to them by the state government. So now clause 3 and clause 4 are somewhat important. I have written POP here. POP is the power of police. Power of police can be given by state government to these prohibition officers in certain cases with certain restrictions as may be specified under the rules made under this act. And AB here is the advisory board. So I have written some short forms to make it simple. So clause 4 talk about advisory board which may be appointed by the state government for helping or assisting these dowry prohibition officers in the efficient performance of their functions under this act. And this advisory board shall consist of at least two female members, which has been given here. Section 9, power to make rules. Section 9 talks about power to make rules by the central government, and Section 10 talks about powers to make rule by state government. However, the rules made by the central government and state government are different. The rules made by central government include the form and manner in which that list of presents has to be maintained, and also for the better coordination and policy and action of the administration under this act. All those things has to be looked by the central government, and then central government can make rules accordingly. And once a rule, every rule made in this section shall be laid as soon as it has been made before each house of the parliament while it is in session for total period of 30 days, which may be comprised in one session. So this is an important point. You can note it down. This subsection is somewhat complicated. So you just need to remember this total period of 30 days because the question may be asked from this particular provision. Also, now coming to section 10. Here the rule making power has been given to the state government. So the state government may, by notification in official gazette, may make rules related to the additional functions to be performed by dowry prohibition officers and the limitations and conditions subject to which the dowry prohibitions officers may exercise its functions under subsection 3 of 8b. So as you might remember that section 8b also includes the power of state government. State government can appoint the prohibition officers, and clause 3 says that the state government may confer the power of police to the prohibition officers. So that power of police has to be made with certain restrictions, so that certain restrictions can be made through rules, and that rules are to be made by state government, and that is again verified by section 10, which again says that the state government can make rules regarding limitations and conditions in which the dowry prohibition may exercise the functions of police under subsection 3 of 8b. Now, every rule made by the state government under this section shall be laid as soon as may be after it made by the state legislature. So as soon as the rules are made by before the state legislature, they shall come into implementation. They shall come into effect. So that is it for today, guys. This was all for the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961. I'll be posting some quizzes related to this topic later on, so you can subscribe to the channel to get more updates. And also, if you want to ask me some queries, you can ask me them in the comment section. And also, there is this email ID given in the description, so you can send me your queries there also. And if you like this video, please do subscribe to this channel, like the video, and share it with your friends who need it. Thank you.